special edition of 2020 with Robin Roberts starts now.
May 6, 2013, and the gritty heartland city of Cleveland is about to witness a miracle.
Help me, I'm Amanda Berry. I've been kidnapped and I've been missing for 10 years and I'm here, I'm free now.
Amanda Berry, abducted just a day before her 17th birthday, but she did not escape alone. 2 other young women were found that day.
Gina DeJesus returns here. She is indeed home.
Gina DeJesus, kidnapped at the age of 14, and Michelle Knight, never even known to be missing.
Police arrested who owns the home is 52.
Their abductor was a deranged school bus driver named Ariel Castro. But through the years of their captivity, they held on to one conviction: that their families would never give up on them. 10 years later, that faith brought them home. The story in their book begins this way.
Now we want the world to know. We survived. We love life. We were stronger than Ariel Castro.
Strong indeed. Good evening, everyone. I'm Robin Roberts. You're about to go on an amazing journey of resilience, celebration, and faith. Until tonight, it's been a mystery what really went on in that house for an unimaginable 10 years. But for the first time right here, you're going to hear that incredible story. Amanda Berry and Gina DeJesus share it in their new book, Hope, a memoir of survival in Cleveland. And they prove that out of the darkest depths of humanity, a light still shines.
It was pretty cool.
Amanda Berry, now 29, is tiny, just over 5 feet tall, but inside, a tower of strength. Tell me what you were like when you were 13. What kind of teenager were you then?
I was pretty much a homebody. I stayed home a lot, did my schoolwork.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I was into fashion. Like, when I was in school, the shoes had to match the shirt and the shoelaces had to match the outfit,
She was raised by her mother and older sister in a working-class neighborhood on the city's west side. The tiny girl had big dreams of being the first in her family to go to college.
We was a very close family. It was me, my mom, my sister, and my 2 daughters. We did everything together. There was not a time that she didn't call and let us know where she was.
It is April 21st, 2003, the day before her 17th birthday, and Amanda is on her way to work at Burger King. How did that day begin?
Well, my mom gave me a kiss and just told me have a good day. And I got up, got ready for work. I almost called off for work that day because the next day was my birthday. What if I would have called off that day?
That question would haunt her in years to come. But this day begins like any other, until the moment when an SUV starts to follow her down the street.
And he asked, "Do you need a ride home?" And I said yes.
The man inside is the father of her friend, Angie Castro, from middle school. So did that make you feel a little relieved?
It did, yeah. It's a friend's dad. He's like, "Well, she's at my house. Would you like to go see her?" I said, "Yeah, sure. I haven't seen her in a while."
They drove down this quiet street, Seymour Avenue, and pull up in front of a white 2-storied house. And what happened when you went into the house?
Well, he said, "Oh, well, the bathroom door's closed. I think maybe she's taking a bath." So he said, "Well, just wait." So he started showing me around the house. And I never got back out.
Moments after stepping through the door, Amanda knows she is in trouble. Castro takes her upstairs and shows her something strange: a mystery woman sleeping in a bedroom in front of a television set.
When I seen her, there was like a little peephole that the doorknob was supposed to go in. So that's all I saw.
She would later learn that woman, 22-year-old Michelle Knight, had been Castro's prisoner for almost a year. And what did he tell you?
That was his roommate.
Her memories of what happened next are still raw.
When he took me to the next bedroom, and it was just really dark in there, and he didn't turn on the lights. And there was a little room off of the bigger bedroom, kind of a big closet. And he took me in there, and he told me to lesbians. And from there I knew, like, this was not gonna be good.
Amanda has just become Castro's second prisoner.
When he took me to the basement, he taped my wrist and he taped my ankles, and he put a belt around my ankles over the tape, and then he put a helmet over my head. And he said, just be quiet and don't make any noise, and I'll take you home.
The visor of that black helmet is now fogged by her tears.
He chained me up to this pole, and it was like a really thick chain, like a motor chain or something. And he just left me there. He shut the lights off and put a little TV there, and I was just left in the dark. I just started screaming and crying, and somebody, please help me, you know, and nobody came.
So you're there in the dark, you're chained up. Lord only knows what you had to be thinking.
I was so scared that I was gonna die. I didn't think that I was gonna ever make it home.
Just a 10-minute drive away, her sister Beth is worrying about why Amanda never came home, so her mother calls the police.
We left her a message. By the third phone call with no answer, we knew something was wrong because 90% of the time she's gonna answer that phone.
The neighborhood around Amanda's home becomes ground zero for the investigation. FBI Special Agent Tim Kalanick, head of the Violent Crimes Unit, knows that the road ahead is far from easy.
Missing person cases are probably the most difficult cases that we work. And the reason is because it really is a needle in a haystack. You're looking for that piece of evidence. You know, some unusual person walking down the street, an unusual vehicle.
Amanda was last seen leaving work at this Burger King on Lorraine Avenue.
All across the city, the news of her abduction makes headlines as a search for the missing teenager begins.
Her sister is posting Amanda's picture. She hopes for the best.
And in that White House on Seymour Avenue, Amanda is watching her mother, her sister, her own story slowly unfold in the bitter grays of a tiny black and white TV.
Keep her going on the news media, any flyers I can do.
I wanted her to know that we was fighting for her and we wasn't going to give up until we knew where she was or what had happened.
What went through your mind when you were watching that as you were chained?
That kept me going. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna make it home to you. As long as you fight, I'm gonna fight.
It is day 4 of Amanda's abduction. Castro has moved her to an upstairs bedroom, chaining her to a radiator. The hours are crawling by. The loneliness, the isolation, Amanda, that you must have felt. How did you deal with that?
Well, the first week I was there, it was really tough. So I asked for maybe a coloring book and something I can write in a journal or something.
The first thing he gives her is a diary with a tiny lock and key. Her first entry, written by the flickering light of the television.
I just can't wait to go home. I'm 17 now, but don't have a life. But he told me I'm young and I will go home before summer, another 2 months.
It would be 10 years before she would return home. When we come back, Amanda's private diary, her secret code to trap him, next.
Robin Roberts continues with Captive, a journey of hope and survival.
This is a scale model of Ariel Castro's house. 1,400 square feet, 4 bedrooms, and 1 bathroom. Amanda was first held captive down in the basement, then moved to the 2nd floor and chained in the main bedroom. Just steps down the hall, Michelle Knight, Castro's first captive, lived in a second tiny bedroom. On the surface, the house didn't draw a second glance, but concealed inside 2207 Seymour Avenue is a bunker of chilling magnitude.
There were doors that were put on the windows, completely covering the windows so no light could come in. The bolts that held those doors on the wall were sheared off. There was no way they could get at them, and those were even behind plexiglass.
Its owner, Ariel Castro, is 5 feet 7 inches tall and a recluse. His only known hobby, playing weekend gigs at local jazz clubs.
On the outside, he appeared very normal. He might be the last one you would suspect of wrongdoing.
But this school bus driver is a man with a past. He has a former wife, 4 children, and a history of brutal violence. She and her children moved out of the house, fleeing Castro's violent rage.
He hated women. He beat his wife so badly, he stomped on her head, he broke her teeth, he broke her bones.
From the beginning, Amanda could sense the uncontrollable anger within.
He was very intimidating. He was very scary. His voice was mean and like deep, and if you ever looked into his eyes, they were like black, like he had no soul.
It is April 27th, 2003. 6 days into captivity, and Amanda is still chained to that radiator in the second-floor bedroom.
My chain is actually a few different chains linked by padlocks. It stretches 5 feet from the radiator to my stomach. 5 feet has become the size of my whole world.
Can you describe what it was like to live chained like that?
It was really hard going to sleep at night. You know, if you wanted to toss onto your back, you couldn't do that. You would have to take the whole chain and move it to the front of your stomach so that you're not laying on the big lock on your back.
Her tiny room, about the size of a closet, is dark and filthy.
The mattress was old and nasty. It was just disgusting, and the bucket to use the bathroom, that smelled horrible.
Once a day, he feeds her, sometimes junk food, sometimes not at all.
He started to give a bag of chips or crackers or something.
Her access to the bathroom is strictly limited.
You could only take a bath like once a week.
Ariel Castro is her only lifeline, but everything, even her weekly shower, comes at a price.
He tried to act nice, but he's like, well, maybe you need to go take a shower, and I had to take a shower with him.
He forced you to take a shower with him?
He thought that, well, I gave her that. I deserve this.
Well, what do you want to tell people about the sexual abuse that you suffered?
It was horrible. After a while, you just get used to it. Like, you numb yourself to it, and you put your mind somewhere else so that you're not there. You know, you're not in that room with him.
How often did you think you were not going to survive?
Oh, there was plenty of times when I just never knew why is he keeping me here? Is it, one day when he's done with me, he'll kill me and get rid of me.
Yet, what Amanda now knows of Castro's brutality strengthens her conviction to survive.
I realize I have a mission. This man enjoys hurting women, and I want people to know it. I don't want him to get away with it. I need to outlast him.
She keeps a record in code in her diary. Hidden testimony against Ariel Castro. 1X, 3, 4. Each entry, a daily record of rape. You would actually put how many times he was assaulting you?
I would always write these numbers at the top of the pages because I felt like, one day maybe authorities will get to read it and he'll be punished for what he did.
She's disturbed that Castro calls her his temporary wife.
He would try to hold hands with me. It would just make me sick because he would fall asleep, and so I would take my hand away from his hand, and I would scoot to the very edge of the bed, but I couldn't go too far because of the chain.
Amanda has been missing for a week when her family receives a late-night call. It is Castro taunting them using Amanda's cell phone.
He called and said, I have Mandy, which nobody called her Mandy, but who knew her. She wants to be with me, we're married. Well, we kind of just sat there we know she's not married. We knew definitely that it was foul play.
Making that call on Amanda's phone was a near miss in the case, leading authorities to within 2 blocks of his house. In 2003, the FBI was just starting to develop technology that could track a cell phone's location.
The intelligence and the information we have indicated that Amanda's phone was used in about a 30-40 block area. We spent about a week around the clock in that area, hoping that this phone would be used again.
But Castro didn't use that phone again, and their one solid lead vanished into thin air.
There were very good tips, very good leads that we had to follow up on, and we did follow up on. But unfortunately, the tip that we need just didn't come in.
The weeks are slowly stretching into months when Castro makes Amanda a strange promise.
He would always tell me when he got another girl in the house that, I'm just looking for another girl and then I'll take you home.
But Amanda knows he's lying to her. She's seen Michelle Knight locked in another room. Though they've never spoken, she knows Michelle is a prisoner too.
It was scary because I didn't know if one day we were going to be murdered, when he felt like he was done or he wanted more girls in the house. Like, what was he going to do to us?
As the months pass by, Amanda's mother is fighting to hold on to hope. Her daughter's room unchanged since her disappearance. Amanda's Christmas presents still unopened. 4 miles away, in the freezing cold of her room, Amanda fills the empty hours by writing in a diary, hundreds of pages in notebooks, on napkins, and even on fast food bags. So you'd get a bag like this, you'd bring back something home, what would you do with it?
You would just go all the way around. There we go.
Voila.
There's your paper.
How many days could you get into this?
Oh, that could last a good week if you needed it to.
Amanda has been a prisoner for almost a year when Castro goes on the prowl again, hunting just 5 blocks away from the street where he kidnapped Amanda. On this day, the young girl who catches his eye is 14. Her name, Gina DeJesus, and she's one of his daughter's closest friends.
He pulls over to me, and then I got in the car, and then he would say he's gonna turn around, and he never turned around.
Gina DeJesus is about to become Castro's 3rd victim. Stay with us.